on the right. Gus, Borracho, center with me.
The film opens in Los Angeles, where a fortified truck with cash is on the move. Early dawn, they stop by a donut shop. 2 of the 4 guards stay in the truck for security reasons. Suddenly, 4 masked robbers spawn out of nowhere and try to rob the truck. They force the driver guard to step out of the truck, but he doesn't. While one robber uses some kind of a drill to take out the windshield, the other one starts shooting the guards. The robbers are updated by their accomplice Mack that the cops are heading towards them. The police arrive simultaneously, so they start shooting at them even before they get out of their cars. More police reinforcements arrive and engage in crossfire with the thugs. They end up throwing a smoke bomb at the cops and flee with the truck. Mack helps them take shortcuts to dodge the cops and return to their base unharmed. The 4 robbers are revealed as Ray, Enson, Donnie, and Bosco. Ray lashes out at Bosco for opening fire at guards and nearly jeopardizing their robbery. On the other hand, the film's lead, Nick, is introduced. He breaks into his own home like a raccoon and grabs something to eat. His wife catches him off guard and asks him to confront her about the dirty text he sent her instead of his mistress. He doesn't give any justifications and plainly apologizes to her, but she gets triggered and leaves with her daughters. Nick tries to stop them, but his wife hits him and drives away with the girls. As he sits on the couch with devastation, he gets called to the crime scene, where other detectives fill him in on the robbery. When Nick finds out that they've caused such a ruckus over an empty armored truck, he figures something big is going on. On top of that, he becomes perplexed when he hears that the thugs knew the routes and used a bleach bomb to wipe out any kind of prints from the crime scene. Unbeknownst to Nick and other detectives, Bosco is secretly photographing them. When the cops arrive to give him a hand in the investigation, he acts like a rebel and tells them that he doesn't want their involvement. Back on the robbers' side, Ray looks Nick up online and finds out he runs the major crimes unit of the Los Angeles Sheriff Department. In contrast, Nick learns about all the robberies committed recently and concludes that they're all being committed by an organized group with a gunmanship so remarkable that they have got to have a military background. His hunch leads the detectives to look up military convicts. This is how they come across Ray's files and learn that the robberies started taking place right after he got out of jail. After looking up Ray's accomplices, Nick infiltrates the bar where Donnie tends. He even chats with him without being suspected. When Donnie gets off work, Nick follows him and knocks him out. Donnie wakes up in a house where Nick's friends and some theater performers casually hang out. They send everyone out except the detectives. At first, Donnie doesn't tell them anything about Ray, but when he's put in a chokehold, he agrees to comply with Nick. He reveals that he's only used for his driving skills. In a flashback, it is revealed that the day Ray gets out of prison, he teams up with Enson and starts recruiting people. Boston introduces Donnie to Ray, who asks him to demonstrate his skills. Donnie takes him for a ride, which stimulates his sense of fear. He loves how dangerous yet cautious Donnie is. Hence, he offers Donnie a driving gig. He drives them to robberies. When Nick raises questions about how things work in their gang, Donnie honestly states that he's only required to drive the group around with 0 involvement. Nick lets him go on the condition that he works as his informant from now on. Later, Nick goes to a grocery mart, where he becomes sad to spot his family having fun in his absence. On the other hand, Donnie unites with Ray. While Nick and the detectives pull extensive research on everyone who's ever worked for Ray, Ray takes his group outside the LA branch of the Federal Reserve. He claims that he only wants to rob this bank to set a record because no one has ever been able to rob it before. Side by side, Nick finds out that Ray and his associates are all discharged from the military for various crimes, and Ray begins laying out the basic details about the bank. He tells his group that the bank has access to the global database and can ID anyone they suspect. He then starts planning the heist, which is going to take place in the bank's basement where the vault is. According to Ray, the bank has every paper money serial number recorded in their computer, so they can track the money if it gets stolen. However, there's a glitch. They remove the data of the old notes and annul their use. Hence, more than $30 million is tossed in the dumpster every day, which the bank doesn't keep any record of. Ray plans on robbing the dumped money. Now, the bigger problem is getting someone from their group inside the bank who has no criminal record. They select Donnie, who gets a job in a food delivery service. The same day, a lawyer hands Nick divorce papers from his wife that baffle him. Ray reveals that he's going to use the stolen armored truck to get inside the bank without getting detected because they all have criminal records. Donnie starts his first day as a delivery rider and delivers food to employees inside the bank. He hides one parcel in the bathroom vent and comes out. Since he's on the detective's radar, they find out what Ray's group is up to. On the side plot, Enson's daughter is picked up by her prom date. Enson pulls him to a room where Ray and the other group members intimidate him and make sure he doesn't hurt Enson's daughter. The following evening, the group dines out. Nick poses as Donnie's old chum and approaches him in front of Ray and the others. He deliberately provokes Ray so his friends take him away. The group gangs up on Donnie and makes him spill that the cops are manipulating him. Ray weaves another plan and instructs Donnie to spread the fake news of them robbing the bank on Friday. Now drunk, he crashes his wife's social event and embarrasses her by getting kicked out of there. The next day, Donnie meets the detectives and conveys what Ray had told him. When he leaves, Nick follows Ray to a gun range and practices shooting beside him. Later, he goes to a strip club where he's lured by a stripper. She takes him home, but Ray shows up there and encounters Nick. Nick awkwardly walks out of there and tells his detectives which place Ray is robbing next. Inside, the girlfriend confirms to Ray that she's misled Nick according to his plan. While Ray wakes up next to his girl and Enson catches up with his family at breakfast, Nick feels lonely. He secretly meets his daughter from the other side of the fence outside her school and promises that he's going to get her back. Up next, Ray and his thugs get ready to rob another bank before the federal one. Their group and the detectives arm themselves side by side and head out. While Nick and the detectives survey them, they head inside and take everyone hostage. Ray asks the branch manager to call the cops and arranges a chopper along with $10 million in cash in exchange for the hostages. When the FBI arrives, Nick stops them and swears at them for meddling in their case. Their negotiator confidently calls the bank and tries to be cocky with Ray, which prompts him to shoot one of the hostages. When they hear a gunshot outside, Nick and the FBI guy engage in an abusive argument. The negotiator begs Ray for some time to meet the demand, so he agrees, and personally calls Nick on his cell phone to mess with him. Suddenly, they hear a giant explosion. Scenes cut to Mack, who's hacked the bank's landline and is now hearing them fix time with the Federal Reserve to deposit their funds. Nick looks at the bank's blueprints and suspects that the robbers blew up the tunnel to escape. He marches inside and finds all the hostages untouched, but the robbers are gone via the blown-up tunnel. Mack informs Ray of the delivery, so he and Enson pose as security guards and take the recently stolen money to the federal bank. They are told to wait in the lounge while the workers are ordered to take their cash into the room where they sort out money. It is revealed that Donnie is hiding in those cash trolleys. Bosco messes with the power circuit while Donnie uses jammers to shut down surveillance cameras. The surveillance guys override their power unit and try to contact their employee, Luigi, on the radio, but Ray and Enson scramble to intercept their frequency and cut off their communication. Donnie starts filling the stolen cash in bags and tosses them in the garbage can so they can be annulled and erased from the bank's record. Luigi is sent to count the cash, so Donnie hides in the air vent. Simultaneously, Nick calls the police for reinforcement and drives to the federal bank. Luigi confirms that there's nothing wrong with the cash, so the surveillance guys let Ray and Enson go. Alongside, the trashed money is also loaded in a truck and sent away. Donnie reaches the bathroom vent where he had hidden a parcel. He had placed an ID in there, which he now attaches to his suit, and walks out of the main entrance without being suspected. Bosco and the others follow the truck with discarded money. They hijack it and flee.
Move! Let's go! Get out.
Meanwhile, the detectives capture Donnie from the streets. Ray and Enson follow the money truck and head to a junkyard, where Ray overhears Donnie getting beaten up by Ray over the comms and figures he's going to rat him out, which he eventually does. The detectives come after Ray, who escapes with his group.
What happened to the other two?
Ray's group and the detectives ultimately get stuck in traffic, so they put on their Kevlars and arm themselves. Donnie is cuffed to the car so he doesn't escape. Now both parties open fire amidst the traffic jam and cause a huge scene.
Z, go down the right. Gus, Borracho, center with me.
Bosco and Enson get shot first. Ray runs away, but Nick chases him on foot and shoots him at last. When he returns to his vehicle, he finds Donnie gone. The detectives also find out about the cash bags in Ray's car, which are full of shredded paper instead. Nick figures something fishy is up, so he visits Donnie's bar and finds out from the owner that Donnie's resigned and left. When Nick looks around, he spots all the Federal Bank workers drinking. He comes out and sees the Federal Bank that's opposite to the bar. Nick pieces everything together and concludes that Donnie is the main mastermind behind the heist, who double-crossed Ray and him and fled with the actual money. Here, the film ends. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps.